Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is BMT coming at you again with another one, and I definitely wanted to go ahead and do this conversation with you guys. Um, Pretty much, this is one that we've been seeing going on for a while, that a lot of people have been having a lot of discussion on, pretty much on the talking point of the culture, and hearing a lot of the dialogue and stuff going on, talking about the culture and different other stuff. I put up that picture, and let me go ahead and put it up. Um, I'm gonna put up that picture for you guys because a lot of people have this ideology that the fight is so y'all need to understand, man. Like a lot of y'all are just being propagated into a lot of social media doctrines that y'all are following by. You really don't have to jump off a cliff or run after this stuff or literally try to banter to say, we got to fight it. We got to fight it. You actually don't, because if it doesn't represent you, why are you getting hyped up for something that doesn't fight you? I was listening to a conversation to one guy. He was saying that, well, these people are winning. They're making money. Yeah, they're making money because you are giving them that attention. I don't give people attention that literally is not beneficial to my cause. I move on and I do what I need to do. And you'll hear other people bang against that and say, no, we have to say something. We have to fight against it. We have to actually have some type of chore to say something against what they're doing. Uh, that's interesting because you'll have it where the Latin community, the Hispanic community, has Telemundo, and they patronize primarily to Telemundo, which is literally their music, their shows, their sitcoms, their what features them. Granted, they have a few episodes that are for them, but that's all they care for because that's their network. Versus what other people may put about them or whatever generic stuff they may put in shows about Hispanic people. They're like, okay, y'all got that on us, but we have our own stuff. Like we're gonna do our award shows. It's gonna be on our channels. It's gonna be on our network, and that's a beautiful mindset to have. Especially as for me, when I watch a lot of stuff that's said on social media or YouTube and stuff like that, well, black men do this, or black men, you don't care about your imagery or this and that. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Burn down the station that they're having it on? It's freedom of speech. They're putting out what they feel like they want to put out with me. I'm gonna just put out my imagery of what it's me. And so long as I do that, then I mean, hey, we should all be good. I can't stop people from feeling or talking about how they're going to talk about me because they already have a preconceived conception of me. So this is another thing. Let me read this real quick. We can wait on government handouts, but until our wealthy black pro athletes, entertainers, and others invest nationally in the black community, we will remain permanent consumers. Now, I get what you're trying to say. Um, if you're hoping that those people with those types of um, retention to their needs and assets um, feed back to you, then I don't know, man, because a lot of us we're trained on a consumer basis. It's not like you see it where black athletes, black entertainers, and all of them, for the most part, like when they start up a clothing brand, it's their clothing brand. So technically, that's a black brand. Um, Whenever they do something that's already theirs, that's literally, granted, when they get signed on or they get certain professional stuff, they already led the charge and shown that, hey, like, we got this. Like, how much money do you want for them to keep kicking back? How much money do you want for them to keep kicking back? I don't get on the pro train because I'll be like, well, what money was sent towards me? And now that I am where I am today, is it my job now to send money back? I mean, let me know because my mortgage is coming up around the corner, and if y'all plan on, paying for my mortgage, let me know. Like, don't like these things, and I get what non-swirl is saying, but right now you're not really holistically. That's a culture. That's a culture of it. I mean, there are people who do stuff, but I don't think that it's enough of a big ripple. That's like saying that other groups of like white people, when they make money, they give money back to white people, or Asians do that. That's the case. They make the Asians. They got more poor people like than anything. Let's go ahead and look at this. I mean, so I'm looking at this picture right here, and this picture right here has so much context in it. It's not even funny. So I want y'all to look at the picture of these boys right here. These are two white boys that literally have personified that of what they believe is pop hip hop culture. Okay, two white boys that want to be cool and hip and hop and all that good stuff. Like they trying to be like, what I'm saying, like KRS-One or whatever stuff. And this is why I say you do not control your pop culture or that type of music industry. Y'all like to believe y'all do, but you realistically don't. You don't. The facial tattoos, the grills, and all this stuff. Like, I'm trying to let y'all know, man. Y'all don't run this stuff. When y'all talk about the dreadlocks and all the other stuff, man, this is why I be trying to tell a lot of y'all, y'all need to just fall back. Let these type of people have it, man. Don't give them no energy. Don't give them no time of day. This is why I don't even entertain people. Oh man, look how he can rap. Look how he can spit. Look how he dressed. Yeah, he definitely is flying enough to come to the cookout. He's swagged out. Man, y'all are so clowns for that. Y'all be going for that stuff. I mean, I don't say nothing. Don't say nothing anymore. I don't entertain it. I allow this stuff like when they talk about the certain type of dressed out, like these are propagated narratives of stuff that people. I mean, like I said, the bust, the sag, throwing your hands up and all this stuff. I mean, they have a right to choose and be like how they want to. When y'all be trying to follow these social media hypes and gimmicks, I'm trying to let y'all know, man, y'all just be falling into the play. You didn't build that culture. What are you talking about, BMT? Yeah, we built that culture. New York, New York, New York, New York. Okay, tell me how many record labels are y'all running right now? Can y'all put music on the goddamn radio without going through certain chains of command? Why you got to go through certain chains of commands or certain permission to put on your music? You have certain contracts you have to sign, and I get it for the powers that be, but then that means you truly are not in control, and it's not your culture. How do you tell somebody that something of your creativity how to do something, and literally you have to go get permission? Then it's not really yours. You understand me? Nobody can tell me to turn on my lights, want to do X, Y, and Z, because guess what? At the end of the day, it's mine. And this is a big problem when it comes down to like people talking about certain stuff. Um, that's black culture. That's black culture. Is it really your culture? Is that something that really represents you? If it don't represent me, it's not my culture. And that's the problem that a lot of black people need to understand. Like, look at this, man. Do y'all not notice there's a lot of people outside from different diasporas or different ethnicity backgrounds? It's interesting how they perceive the same culture that you're fighting for, that they are placating to that. And I watch this time and time again. Y'all be looking goofy and more goofy out there being emasculated, being pimped out, being hustled. And I get it. I get it. You want your notary, your notary of fame to say that, hey, you want the chance, wear masculinity. It blows my mind. Y'all be the only one in the group trying to fit into a group that you literally stick out more than anything, man. And I watch that. I watch that time and time again. Me, I'm not trying to fit in anymore. I don't want to. I don't try to fit in. I don't want to be part of any kind of thing. But I understand that literally a long time ago, your culture, you did not properly push out there, man. Everybody has a right to believe on rock what they got, man. Actually, to believe it or not, the Hispanics didn't even start Taco Bell. White people actually started Taco Bell. If y'all know, ask any real Hispanic about Taco Bell, they say that is not Hispanic food. Just let y'all know, KFC was not started by black people. That was actually started by white people. What? Because black people like chicken, like everybody else likes chicken. Panda Express was not started by no goddamn Asian people. Most Asian people I could tell you right now don't even work in Panda Express. You might get a few of them that might, no. What y'all gonna say? White people are Arby's? What's going on? What's going on, Carol? That's why I don't jump. That's why I don't jump into a lot of these things. It's not your culture. It don't represent you. And I'm gonna be honest. A lot of things on social media, they don't represent me, and I'm not fighting for them. I'm not fighting for them. I'm not trying to put. I'm not trying to defend them, man. If women want to go out there and fight for a certain type of culture, let them. But I hope to God that culture represents you. Men, if you're trying to fight for a certain type of culture or a certain type of belief, understand this. What is the end game? That's why I told y'all, man. A lot of the imagery of the stuff that's been put out there, you're not really running the mechanism. You're not the puppet master. Y'all say y'all love masculinity, but then y'all love Prince. But Prince is metrosexual. Huh? Y'all love the music culture, or y'all fight so hard for the music culture, but the music culture literally look at the imagery of the stuff that they put out there in music about you. Oh, that's just showing what really goes on in the streets. Tell me the positive. It gives people jobs. You're not getting. I can tell you right now, you're not getting the top main jobs. You're not the one that's the engineers. And we watching plenty of times y'all getting shafted. The clothing industry. Y'all had a full grown young boy wearing dresses and panties, and he had a father and a mother with money. But I get it. A lot of people say, "Well, that's their choice." It is their choice. But don't come around me saying that, "Oh yeah, I represent that of a family." No, you don't. See, we like to use the six-figure, seven-figure people to say that they represent excellence of what we want to look like. They really don't, because you don't know who's paying them. You don't know who's running them. You don't know who's actually backpacking their narrative. And that's a big problem that a lot of people are having. You're getting behind people, but you don't understand the backpacking narrative that comes with it, man. Same way how y'all talk about politics. I watch how y'all talk about Republicans and Democrats. Neither of each I trust. I don't trust a Republican, and I damn sure don't trust a Democrat. But I understand that's what you were led and taught to believe. People can say whatever they want to say about me, but at the end of the day, I'll tell you right now, people don't represent me. You cannot define me because you did not create me. You didn't build me, you don't feed me, you don't sustain me. And that's a big issue that we have going on, man. You're fighting for cultures that literally do not represent you. And so, in doing that, you're wasting your time spent energy trying to. A lot of y'all are not running these cultures that you're fighting for. That's why I say when you realize you're not running the culture, let them have it, man. Because somebody want to wear or act a certain type of way or be a certain type of energy, step back, let them do that. But BMT, we gotta say something. No, you don't. BMT, these women are out here doing this. That they don't represent my culture. If those type of women don't represent my culture, then I'm not going to defend them. I don't care if they have my same complexion. They don't represent me. And if they don't represent me, they're not my problem. And I don't care who don't like hearing that. Those men over there, they're killing and they're shooting up and that. Well, guess what? That's their business. They don't represent me. If them men want to go around wearing their pants any old kind of way and acting belligerent and taking out each other, guess what? Every village is not your village. I wish I would stop this monolithic thinking like somehow that because we're all black, we're brother because we're all black. We all came from the no, we didn't. Stop the cap. You don't do this to any other group. Tell a Korean and an Indian that hey, guess what? You both are the same. You both are yellow. Man, they'll look you up and down stupid. Hey, he's not my culture. He don't have my ideologies, my belief. Julia, then you fight for it. Then you fight for it. Tell me what culture can you change? You see, y'all have these talking points that y'all fight for these cultures, but tell me what culture are you honestly running? Put in the chat. Tell me the culture that y'all are running. What culture you're running? Are y'all running the imagery of how female or how women are in the industry? Hmm? Women that have no problem bending over, spreading their legs for random men, strangers. Does that represent y'all women? That's like saying some dude who tat his face up and doggone wears grills and points guns at people. That's supposed to represent me. Does the baby represent me? That man don't. That man ain't literally got one child in his home. That man wears a whole diaper. Does the baby represent me now? Does Rick Ross represent me? Give me a black man that's a millionaire that represents me. Oh right, they don't. The same men that y'all want to say represent me will be the same dude tomorrow wearing a dress. The same women that y'all want to say represent y'all in y'all media will be the same women that run out there with a whole weed beard on them and saying, "Well, guess what? I represent femininity." How? How, Sway? What culture that they put out there, that they allow to be out there, represents you? See, that's the thing about it. You're not running the culture. You're not running the imagery. Who from the American diaspora is representing you? Who speaks about your plight for schools, business, economics? That's not getting funded by some agenda. We done seen dudes who literally, hang on, let me see if I can. Now they'll always show two black people with a bunch of white people. Now that's fine. So let me go ahead and try this. Okay, because you already got these dudes. All right, so let's go say. So you have it where these dudes are dressed up like this, right? Now, for whatever reason, they got black men now doing all this weird stuff. Now, granted, the imagery of a black man now, granted, he has a family. His baby's name is Culture. The mom always talking. The mom, the Cardi B girl, don't she talks about how she sings about sucking dick and all kind of crazy shit, but she won't allow her biracial child to hear any of his music or her music. But y'all will defend that culture, though this woman has enough sense not to allow her daughter, which is named Culture, to doggone have the imagery of you. Like sometimes y'all gotta know when y'all are being played, man. Like I don't know what is it about black black people that like to get played, but it really is becoming problematic. Like y'all fight for the wrong shit. Y'all think just because they look like you that they actually are for you. That's what blows my mind. That's what's scary. You think because something looks like you, that at some point, then no wonder why any politician can send somebody black to you and say, "Hey, I'm for you," and y'all will listen to them, not looking at the contents of what their representation is. But I would just say, like, get out of here, get out of here. I ain't see no black men on no social media and that's disrespectfully don't represent me. They don't represent me, and I'm not asking them to. I represent me. That's the problem with a lot of y'all. I can hear y'all. Don't worry. I'm not asking for nobody to represent me because nobody is truly better to represent me than me. When you start understanding that the imagery of when they put out something like this, So you saying this you want me to defend this now? You want me to defend this guy? You want me to defend this little Pixar crap right here? Disney stepdad? You want me to defend this? Is that what I'm supposed to fight for? From our family to yours? Hmm? You saying I ain't good enough to build my own family? That this is what I stand for? That a man literally this is the best I can do is raise another man's kids. That's the imagery that y'all want me to defend. Honestly, for me, I didn't even bother doing a review. I didn't bother checking out the movie. I didn't bother to look it up. That's y'all narratives that y'all can fight for. Disney's emotional and heartwarming Christmas. Now, some people say, "Why do you care?" I don't care. Neither shall I ever care. Hmm? When white people got tired of that don't work for a conversation. Oh, for conservatives? Oh, I don't know what y'all talking about. I get that. The black politicians, they're not representing me. None of them do. See, I understand that I didn't put those politicians there. If you really want to make change, start off small. If you got a better chance of doing something locally and then move from there. Start out with a town. That's honestly what I learned, man. Like I'm not. Listen, man. For years, I've been searching for my representation. When y'all men be trying to say, "Well, the women need to be like this," key word. Well, the women, but guess what? Every woman ain't your woman. When the women say, "Well, the men need to be like this," every man ain't your man. There's certain talking points, yeah, I can understand that you can have a discussion about, but at some point you gotta understand that yo, you are a microcosm. Start out with your home and work with people with like-minded ideologies like yours. That's what I was saying. Start out with your home. You know, super chats do work. Y'all trying to at me does not work. I'm just letting y'all know. Super chats work. Y'all will super chat the crazy people. You'll super chat the fanatical people. That's why when I talk the way I talk now, or the things I do, see the people that actually support me with all this stuff, that's when I talk about these kind of things. I understand the people that don't support me. I don't. I don't. I don't get hyped up or jump up on panels for race baiters, gender war talk. I'm not in no gender war. Those dudes who are having problems, them dudes having them, like anybody in a functional relationship is not in no gender war, or anybody who actually knows where they are in their life. Like I'm like saying, listen, man, like that makes no sense. Like if you're not going to represent me or the ideologies, what's going on, Village Arts in this? If you're not going to represent me, then I have no need for you. Them same women out there saying crying for protection, if they're not part of my culture, they're not my job to protect. Just as the same men, a woman, if that is a man that literally fits her narrative, she's going to throw her body to a man for him. Okay? That's how women are. Women will go hard for a man that's literally of their culture. Your problem is you're going after trying to, well, we got to get these women, let them know how they're going to get. That's not your woman. Well, we're going to go to other cultures. Well, guess what? That woman is not even of your culture. So how are you going to try to take one person out of their culture and try to insert them in your culture if you can't even establish your own culture? So you're trying to pull something out of one habitat and put it. Do you ever see an animal whenever they take an animal out of one habitat and they put it in another habitat? You know what happens? The animal dies. The animal dies. It doesn't live long. It's like taking a fish out of one tank and putting it into another tank. It dies. You know why Obama calls himself black? It's marketable. It's marketable. Because he already knows that white people are never going to call him biracial. They're never going to call him, Obama, you're white also. No, they're going to say, Obama, you're black. Obama would actually get more respect out of me if he said, I'm biracial. If he just said, hey, I'm biracial, I'm not. I don't know why biracial people keep saying that they're black. They just need to say biracial. Just say that. You're your own continuity. You're neither white or black. You're just biracial. And I respect you for that. If you just say, I'm biracial, okay, it's 3:34. I got time to drop a link. Just the same way as I see a lot of dudes doing streams on that I see a lot of people doing streams on that Brittany Renner. Listen, y'all cannot shame a person devoid of shame. If a person want to be a hoe, let them be a hoe. If a man wants to be a trick, let him be a trick. That is not your problem. Well, they're making other men. That's not your problem, man. I think the Jews and the Gentiles had it. They had it down pat. I'm a Jew. You're a Gentile, and they call it like that. They weren't trying to. Hey, man, you better do this. No, either you're a Jew or you're a Gentile. Either you're part of my culture or you're not. And if you're not part of my culture, you're not my problem. You can have whatever you have. You can have whatever talking points. You can run whatever agenda. But at the end of the day, you're not part of my ilk. I don't see you as my equal. If you're not my equal, then why do I even have to acknowledge you? So when a lot of dudes like getting on panels and notice the same dudes who are trying to bang the gender war, you're not winning it. You're not winning the gender war. I'm being honest. Because no matter what do you have to make them want to come back to you? And honestly, I got to be for real with you. Do you even want that type of energy in your camp? Huh? Did you see white people trying to get back Anna Nicole? Huh? Did you see them trying to save the Kardashians when they do stupid stuff? Nope. Once you mess up, you mess up. That's the problem with a lot of y'all. Y'all keep on trying to salvage what really isn't salvageable. And I know some people say, well, who are you to say what's unsalvageable? Well, key word, it has to be fit in my eyes, worth fixing. I get some people try to tell me, well, BMT, you brought racists. There's a difference between me and y'all. Let me tell y'all the truth. Let me tell y'all a bona fide truth. Once I know who you are, right? I'm, I have a, I have a gratuitous thank you. And this is why I love living in the South. You don't like me, I don't like you. You don't come on my property, I don't come on your property. We don't have to like each other. I acknowledge that you are the McClinsey, I am the Ezekiels. There's no reason for us to have to deal with each other at all. And I'm fine with that. I am. It's this mindset that a lot of people keep telling each other that literally we have to find a way to unite. No, we don't. That's his indoctrination. That's his doctrine. My doctrine. I hate people that always keep saying that we need to come together and unite. I hate people like that. It just sounds like weakness to me. People that say that there's no such thing as that. Never was. Tell you what, go get the people in the Middle East to come together. Tell them, hey, you give up your culture and join his village's culture. I promise you they'll put a bullet in your brain. They'll be like, who the hell are you? I mean, you tell somebody that, hey, they'll be like, okay, cool. Stand right there. They won't hear that shit. But only in America do you hear one group always tell you, hey, we need to come together. Why? 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 What do I need to come together for you for? Make you feel comfortable? Why do y'all keep one? Why do y'all keep wanting to be cleanup men and women? That shit to me is madness. I'm not your Lord and Savior, and I'm not trying to save y'all. But see, only in certain parts. That's why you see, look at a lot of these talk points. They're built around salvaging and all these other shit. Watch the race baiters. Watch the salvage talk. Y'all don't care about your imagery. You got like 10, 5, you got $1 billion for me to wipe clean things that have been done for at least 100 years. You got $1 billion for me to do that. Show me a black owned network that doesn't have to check in on what it puts out there in the media. I'll wait. This is why I had my angst about this is why I had my angst about Christianity. I asked the question. I asked the question and I said, if God so loved black people, why did he allow slavery? And people will tell me, That's not a question for you to ask. So you want me to adopt Christian Christian culture that literally ordained for me and my people to get the shit kicked out of us. We ought not lie. Successful people aren't black. We ought not lie that successful people aren't black because they aren't R. Kelly. If your father's black, you're black. Thus, you are black. Coach. Well, he did pay $5.
I'd
Um,
rather be in jail.
how you doing, man?
Oh, all right. It's been a long, it's been a while. And so I got your channel by because I wrote it down the first time I came on live onto the sector.
Okay.
So, you were saying there were a lot of things you brought up. There were a lot of points. It was so many points I can't. But to your last thing, you said did God allow slavery?
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, like I know black people they bang hard for like Christian culture, right? And I always ask the question to them, and I mean, and like, and thank you for coming up, Sunbear. I always ask the question, well, if that's the case, can y'all explain slavery to me? You bang hard for a religion that literally has more segregational indoctrination and slaves than anything we've known to humanity. That literally a culture that has genocide different people for having different beliefs. Why do you run hard for a culture that literally does not fit your narrative that puts you in bondage? So I asked, listen, I mean, I grew up in a Christian home. I am engineered to be Christian. I say my Our Father prayer. Sometimes when I eat, sometimes I'm like, I'm not saying that shit, and they be like, "Oh, Joe, you can't say that." I'm like, "No, dude. Like, honestly, until y'all answer me that thing about slavery, I don't want to hear that shit." So you can go and take it for wherever you want to, but like I said, the main topic was when you realize you're not running the culture, let them have it. That's my doctrine belief. Go ahead, Sunbear.
Or yes. Were you saying because I noticed the guys had the dreads in their hair? When you say the culture, um, you're just saying the culture. You're not
Well,
you're just like how we do things. I seen the dreads in the people's hair. So
which
are
one
you?
you want? The Island Boys? When we show them again for you?
I seen it in the thumbnail. So I was saying, are you saying like let them have the dreads, let them have the hoop earrings, let them have like let's start doing something different or like let's do something new or what are you saying like let them
Okay,
have?
so all right, so let's so I help. So I got you with that. I got you with this. Okay, so when I showed the initial picture of the so let's look at this. We got the Disney stepdad, and then we'll have the Island Boys. Okay, we had this right here, the Island Boys. Which you see these boys right here. These boys are some Instagram, social media boys that they do hip hop and all that other stuff, and they do the little dreadlocks and all that stuff. Like the KRS ones back in the day. They're pretty much doing the Bart Simpson type of look, right?
Right.
Now, some people will say, "Well, that's cultural appropriation," and I'll be like, "Listen, man, you're fighting an uphill battle. Leave them fuck boys alone. Just go off and do your own shit because they're going to keep throwing this type of rhetoric out there. You understand me? Just like they throw rhetoric out there about our women, I'm not going to keep on trying to bang against and beat my head on the wall and try to prove, no, this is my culture. This is my culture. No, I'm just going to live my culture and feed my narrative. The Hispanics
Right.
started Telemundo. Feel me? They're not trying to be part of American television society. They just started Telemundo and just say, we'll do our own thing. It wasn't as big when it first started. I remember when Telemundo started coming up, but now
What's Telemunda?
Telemundo is like Hispanic television. It's like they got their
Okay.
own network stuff. Yeah, I got you. Hella.
Well, I'm thinking that they're going to have different hookups depending on where you're located because some places are just now getting Wi-Fi hooked up and stuff.
Mm.
So maybe that's probably why it's separate also as well until we um I mean if but so I see what you're saying that they started their own thing.
You see how they got their own little thing going on? Mind you, it started out smaller than that, but they are putting out their own stuff, their own news, their own narratives. And mind you, they weren't that big, but you know what? They have no problem feeding their own narrative of what they feel. Hey, this is how we want to be looked at. This is how we want to be perceived. So that's how I got no bad against them. I mean, Asians do it, different other people are doing it. So even now, I'm seeing the Jamaicans and the Caribbeans. They're actually having their own shows on YouTube, showing the Caribbean life.
I mean, they're talented. They should. I mean, I mean, they should. Everyone's timing might not be the same, but we're glad that they're doing that because clearly people want to see the talents and different things, so that's a good thing. And
AO, we don't own BET. Black people, we do not own BET. We haven't earned that shit in a long time. Everybody, letting y'all know right now, black people do not own BET. We do not. So y'all can stop with saying we own BET. We do not. That thing just has that. They haven't put out not a goddamn positive narrative about our imagery in a long ass time. We're not going to even use BET. Shit, you got a better chance saying UPN. You would say that I probably would, but we don't own BET. I don't like that. BET will does not mind putting out. Uh, they'll say strong black woman, but then they always show the black woman looking crazy and fucked up and single, raising 4 kids by herself, and she goes all kind of shit. But then the man's already mentally all fucked up. Like that's that shit's a whole heap pile of dog shit. You know, the same thing when it comes to
sometimes things,
huh?
sometimes things don't work out,
Yeah.
you know, and so yeah, with BT because clearly we don't own BT because clearly we don't own some. I don't know if there's anyone that owns satellites or transmitters or different things that make TV possible,
Mm-hmm.
like and internet possible. But
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of things I found out that people actually do have started and created, and which we don't know about. So that's a good thing. They have TV in different places so we can see what other people are doing. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing. you know like I said, we might have had stuff, like you said, somebody might have did it first or whatever, but we're glad they're getting the connections out here because it's interesting to see how, like you said, other cultures do things. And clearly people are going to be inspired by that, by what they see. So it's when people say, sometimes when people copy you, it's like a form of people flattering you also as well.
Mm-hmm.
um but like, I know what you mean. It's like, don't take it to your head because the same people that might be doing this stuff, you might not want to put all your eggs in one basket with these people. Just because they're flattering you doesn't mean, you know, like you said, everybody that looks like you, everybody that's doing stuff like you, that doesn't mean they're for you.
Right. Right.
If that
I
makes sense.
no no no. Like okay, so like you can there can be bad parts on a banana that you can cut off and still eat the banana. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still eat the banana. Even though some parts are going bad, you can still eat it, or you can still mush it up and still get the nutrients.
And some
Um,
people eat the brown
mhm.
part.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like you can still eat the brown part too. Um, if like certain narratives or certain stuff, talking points, I may not always agree, but that doesn't mean they're not unvalid. Um, Like when they did Stepdad, I didn't like it.
Oh
Be-
yeah, I wanted to comment on. You said a couple things in there too, but you said you didn't like it because I never knew they had that. But I mean, clearly that imagery was. I said, but what didn't you like about it?
Now, to me, I felt like okay, so it was the narrative of Stepdad that this man he had. I guess he was being a stepfather. He was good enough to raise the kids, but not have a connection with the woman. From what I read, and like a lot of adults were reading that, like, damn, like the mom don't really, well, the kids do need a fatherly figure, and he's good enough to be that, or deal with the kids, but I'm not feeling him, and I'm like, well, damn, why you there, bro? Like, no, like you should establish a connection with the mother first before you start establishing a connection with the children. Like that should have been the first thing because if y'all are co-parenting, right? If me and you are co-parenting, we would need to be at one accord so that thing everything else in the home would be under our protection. You follow me? But if it's just only well, we're now one accord and it's just me, then literally the roof is open. There's no real protection because then she's just standing there standoffish looking at me while I'm trying to do all this stuff with the kid. You looking goofy and funny as hell, and I'm like, yo, like I get it. I never noticed it, Sunbear, until I started walking through Walmart, right?
Right.
And I started seeing all these black dudes walking around with white babies and Hispanic babies and shit. And
Hmm.
I'm like, holy fuck, the fuck is going on? Like, did I take a pill or did something wake open my eyes where I'm seeing a bunch of black men walking around? It'd be a black dude with a brown hair, white baby,
Hmm.
and a white woman from goddamn Waffle House and shit.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there cheesing, and I'm like, yo, do black men so badly they want to? And I understand now black people want a home to belong to.
Right.
That's how bad. I think that was the thing I really picked from that. Like literally, I just I just got out of the line and just started watching people, and I saw how bad that black people just want. Like I even started, this is no judgment for any swirlers, but when I started seeing that black people were just attaching on anything to like anybody that they
What they
can,
call them throwbacks.
right. There you go. So when I see black people doing that, I feel like you
I've
just
been
want.
calling them throwbacks.
So I'm seeing like, okay, so now, and I'm going to do a talk about that. And oh, believe me, oh, that's coming. That's definitely coming because the holidays reveal a lot to me. Black people want somewhere to belong now. It's definitely self apparent. This is why we're attaching on to any culture or any talking point because we feel like we have nowhere where we belong. We don't feel like we're good enough to have our own. And I get it. I have no problem with a black man attaching on to building a black family with a woman, of his culture.
Yeah.
It's just it's a lot more harder to swallow watching a black man like watching that shit like what's that damn thing with Sandra Bullock and that black man and the woman with you got to pretend to be blind and shit. It was on
Right.
Netflix.
Bird eye or something.
Yeah,
Bird.
yeah. Look, all those black people looking at that shit like we were side eyeing the fuck out of that black man. Nigga, you with a bunch of white babies and a white woman in the apocalyptic end. Like, no, like, I get it. You need some pussy at the end of the world, but god damn it, dog. Like it just daddy. And I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get it. It's the end of the world. You had Bird Box. Thank you, Carolyn. Like, I got no problem. Some men just want to be a dad. Some women just want to have a good man. And I'm looking at where the fuck is this leading to?
They think it's leading to their success, but I guess if you look down 30 years from now or 20 years from now, are those same people going to still, like you said, be holding a family?
Nope.
I haven't seen now. Maybe, like you said, with the generations, maybe we haven't seen it yet. But you really don't see, like, if you look at any older couples and stuff. Which I haven't been a lot of places, kind of like I haven't been outside this country, but you really don't see older people still in a swirl. After usually you see like two, like my grandmama and grandpa, they were both two black people. But I'm not saying it can't last. I'm just saying it depends on, like you said, it seems like it's something that could be psychological at this point.
I think so too. I think so too. This is why I said, like, if it's not your culture, let them have it. Like, I noticed the swirling culture is booming and picking up, but I'm also seeing the gender war thing is more so where neither side of the black man or black woman is good enough for either. Like, black women, go get yourself another type of man, but a black man, he can't deal with you. And then they'll say, black man, listen, black woman is unculturally fit. So, and I'd be like, yo, do y'all not see, like, oh, wait, if they're saying that about you, then that means you just take whatever you can get. And I'm like, that's crazy because that's saying that neither me or you are good enough for each other, but we should go to other cultures. But I'm like, where are the other cultures banging on each other saying, hey, you need to come over here? Like, it seems more like we're pushing out rather than actually keeping in. And it's like more so like our culture has doggone been run over so much. This is why I'm not defending no more of this shit no more. Like, I'm not defending these narratives. I'm not defending none of these talking points. I'm not, because they don't represent me. They
Well,
don't represent.
was
Mhm.
there any but was there, so you're just saying you just kind of be, you just kind of yourself, you just you.
Right. It's like I'm not stopping y'all from doing what y'all do. You feel me? Like, I'm not stopping anybody from doing what they're doing. But I'm like, if it don't represent have any representation of me, right? Then I don't care to try to step in that. Like, if it's a woman saying that, hey, I can fuck as many men as I want,
Right.
I'm be like, but then don't come around saying, hey, black men don't care to protect us. Nigga, you're not my woman to protect. So
Okay, yeah, I had something to say about that.
go ahead.
You know, I know what you mean. It's a great thing to be in a relationship and have, a woman and stuff like, or a man. But I did hear a sister say that sometimes the brothers was like some of the only brothers to say like they don't have a responsibility to the community. Like they're the only ones, just like the only group of men that would say, I'm just worried about me. I don't have no responsibility to the community. So if I want to go over here with Becky, or even if I want to go over here with Sister Shea Butter, because and we can just be us, but we don't have any responsibility to the community. And I don't think that's what you meant, because I seen you building online, so I don't think that's what you meant. But and I understand when people say that. So not that you have to have a responsibility for black women, but I was in a situation, to me, I'm a black woman, and I
Mhm.
was in a situation to where I had met up with this guy, because we were going to go um meet each other after we had been talking. So we had been talking, so we meet up. um he literally, it okay, we met up,
Go ahead.
and I had gotten his car, his truck. Okay, he literally, um, there was a car beside us where this white woman was arguing with, she was arguing with this other dude. I don't know if he was like white or whatever, but he was like something else. But I don't know if because he said he was in uniform, but he literally had. I thought he was gonna get out the truck. Like I was like, and I was just like, he was like, yeah, because I had to make sure everything's okay because because he was in uniform and he's like, it's his responsibility to make sure people's okay. But you did it because she was white, and you did it to show me where I was at because you're supposed to be me. Mind you, me and him were saying we loved each other and everything. And when I met, so you can imagine like how crushed I was to see that display. Like I can't make it up, and that's all I'm telling you, business minded. So it's not your responsibility, but some men don't even protect their own woman, especially if it comes to their preference, or they can use you as a stepping stone, or they can do different things to really make women say some of the things we say sometimes. Because so do you get my story?
No, no,
Like
okay, right. No, no, I get it. That's why
he claimed
I
because he was
I
in
listen.
uniform, he had to help. But I feel like because I know that he has a history with white women too. But when it comes to their preference, us women have to look out for ourselves too. And if y'all want to look out for us when you can, because some of these guys, I'm trying to tell you, like when it comes to their preference, like they will leave you in the cold. Like we're trying to cooperate with men, but you can't cooperate with something like that. Like I was crushed.
Right.
But go ahead.
I can hear it in you, and thank you for sharing that.
Right.
Like, so I will say this, okay? When it comes to that situation, right? But I would tell the same thing to a woman that don't submit to any man that's not protecting you or doing anything for you. You understand me? Like, like that is a privilege that is earned. If I'm
But to
providing,
hear you say that as a black man, when you say you're not my woman, even if we are your woman, though sometimes when it comes with the mind state, is that when you can be dumped in a minute when it comes to, and then you're basically saying, so where's our protection at all? Like,
so
because you're
hang on,
basically saying, like, if you're not my woman, then I'm not going to help protect you. But yet we have a display of a black man protecting a white woman that's not his woman.
okay,
Like, pick a struggle, but it wasn't you. So we're not going to take it out on you, business minded talk.
okay, no, it's fine. So the thing about it is this, all right? When it comes to that, but I hear a lot about the protection piece, right? I hear a lot about the protection piece. Mind you, I mean, my job is I do bodyguard and armed security for a lot of stuff. Okay, some bear, and so I've know what it's like to put myself in the line of fire, and I've seen men put themselves in the line of fire for women that they don't know who they are women. They just see a woman. They just see two girls. Hey, get your ass in the car with me while they're shooting. Okay,
You never helped me do nothing.
who?
So why
But
you put yourself out? Why you bringing work home? Why that's what made me not want to go out with you when you're in your uniform
now,
at
now,
the end of the day. But now I'm disrespectful. But go ahead, business minded talk.
okay, okay, okay. Now here, now
I'm
the
fine with
thing
it.
about it, the thing about it is this, and I get it, I get it. That you're talking of an experience of listen, something popped off.
So
The man that what you were rocking with didn't see fit enough to put their self on the line for you. Now, did you continue on being with that man, or did you say, you know what, I need to step away from this type of man?
I continued on with him.
No, I no no no. I did listen. I'm listening.
I
I
did.
huh?
That's what I did. I continued on because I said, you know what? I'm not gonna let because at this point we had been talking for a minute. So basically, I'm telling you, nothing popped off with me. It was something in a whole separate card.
Right.
And it was
Right.
like you would think after all we've been talking, he would be like completely focused on me. But maybe he was just using me as a token, or a piece just to attract other white women. I don't know. Okay. But when I know that, um, So go ahead, business minded. Um,
Now,
sorry about
so
that
when I,
because it.
so when I so in saying that, like I said, like the resources, the resources within the tribe are almost but spent. Okay, there's not finding the good ones, finding the providers, finding the maintainers. It's starting to become an uphill um, journey. Okay, where I would honestly say, like, you'll have it where even to the point where some women will watch another woman in a situation and they will grab their man and say, no, because they are worried about, hey, if I let my man go out there and get involved in that situation, I'm short without a man, right? Now, hang on now. I listen. I'm listening. I'm telling you. If telling you, this is why gotta have these types of conversations. For the same thing, I would also tell men, look to the woman and ask her, like, hey, for the protection that I'm willing to put aside. But listen, y'all. I have no problem putting my life on the line for my women, my children, my people. Now, if it's something within something where, hey, I see something happening, I'm calling the police. If it's something where I see, hey, I see a dude dragging the shit out of you, listen. I've
No,
been there.
it wasn't nothing like that. It's just I'm just speaking to the mindset of our men. And and right now I'm going to say black men because this man happened to be black.
Mhm.
Um, and I've had you know mainly a lot of black boyfriends that I've had have threatened to leave me for white women.
Wait, no, no. Wait, stop, now pause. Now pause. Pause. So I'm there.
I can only tell you.
No, no. I know, and I'm asking you, what?
I can pretend like it didn't happen, but I figured I'd share that with you
No,
guys.
no, no,
That's
no,
why I
no,
said
no.
it's boyfriends. And you know
What?
what a boyfriend is. It's just a friend. They're male friends. They're people you got close to. You've been talking it out with them. I had a male friend tell me, why do I think black people should even care?
Now, question. Now, Sunbear.
Go ahead.
Why are these men telling you that they feel that they rather be with a white woman than be with you? Why are they saying that to you?
I figured it was a part of me, you know, them breaking me down. Now I did get that from this dude about the breakdown, because but I thought figured it was part of them breaking me down. Um, just to because they think I'm an average. I ain't gonna use the N word,
Mm-hmm.
but and they figure that their little mind manipulations is gonna work on you, like trying to make you feel bad for being black,
Do
as a
you
woman.
give now? Do you give them full access? Because I believe that there's levels. There's levels. There's no. I feel like there's levels in in a relationship. There's the we just friends, we're courting, boyfriend, girlfriend, and this is my husband, this is my wife. Now, sometimes people give the goddamn, they go straight from, I'm going to suck, fuck, and feed this person,
Okay.
but I'm not in that position. But hey, I can say I still have it. Is that something that you were doing? Were you giving access to somebody for the bargain?
No, I think it was because of my African centeredness, and my actual the things that the intimidation, because with me being able to identify is what they would call me knowing you're a dusty trash bag bandit.
Wait, wait,
So and
wait, wait.
that's when the shots start getting fired, with some of these black men, because really at the end of the day, like you said, we do give people and men chances that shouldn't even be in our. I think you were saying something about space earlier, but they
So
shouldn't be.
now,
Yeah,
hold on. Let me grab something right quick. So you were in. So I alluded one time to the culture of the cleanup people culture,
I
right?
got you.
Okay, so you seeing like were you in the culture of the
The
cleanup
cleanup
people?
woman,
Where
the
yeah,
nurse with the purse.
yeah,
I think it's one thing that I actually tried because I would hear not in it like from me starting out, young. No, not in the first place because it was all about using guys for money and stuff. And then after a while, you have like you said you meet different people, and I would hear women talking about doing stuff for men. So I was like, let me try it. And
right.
because sometimes people are out here trying stuff. But I said I heard the ladies talking about it, so I was like, this is I was like, I wasn't taught like this. I said, but let me try it. Maybe that is something that would work. But you're right. No, it doesn't. And I learned about the nurse with the purse. I never knew what it was called. But yeah, so
Now, no, no, hang on now. Okay, so there's a lot of people, and see this is believe it or not, there was a multifaceted culture wave going on in the black community of the cleanup people, and you'll have black men that will try to take in. You can't turn a thought into a housewife.
right.
Some guys tried, and then you'll have the women. These are these nurses or women that have certain jobs like Jody's girlfriend, right? Like Jody from Baby Boy. And remember, goddamn, I to this day I think Baby Boy fucked up the community. I think the Baby Boy culture fucked up the community because you'll have the Evettes that will work the 9 to 5 teleservice or call girl job and give that nigga the car, their keys to the apartment, and also key to the goddamn cookie jar coochie, and still say that's my man. But your man is only good for giving you goddamn thuggish dick, but nothing else. Or
No,
if he
no, no, because everybody has their own vehicles and stuff. What he
oh,
did,
okay,
he
so now
chose to
you
go on ahead and crush me. I'm only saying black men because he is black. He chose to go ahead and do that when his preference came up. He can't control it, but like you said, when the devil show up, we have to cut him off immediately. And I ain't gonna say him. We have to cut the devil off immediately. So I appreciate that business minded talk because some people, especially being African centered, and us being loving people, that's one thing that got us in trouble before. And I seen that you said that you were Geechee, and I think I already shared this, but it was a Geechee sister. She was saying, how they had took their property on the beach and stuff. And when I say they, I mean, you know who. So she was just saying it's not isolation, it's insulation. When you were talking about earlier, everybody shouldn't have access to you. So you don't have to feel isolated. Feel like you're insulated, and protected and
now
protect yourself.
now what about now what about do you think it's certain black people from a certain type of disposition in their life, is it their job to clean up and fix these type of people, or
I
literally
didn't try to fix. I thought, for real. I figured it was something new for me. Like in the past, I'll say few the past couple boyfriends, it was something new, like the taking care of the men, because I was like, hey, I mean, hey, maybe I can try it too, because they call it the black male worship culture, like when you
mm,
say giving men access and letting them run over top of you and all of
mhm.
that stuff. So no, that wasn't my intention. My intention was um I thought we had it going on, like because he
No,
was
no, no, it's fine,
he
it's
was a
fine.
nice guy. He's a nice guy, but he couldn't make it up at that point. Like I don't know why display, but at that point it just really let me know why, it just really I was like, I can't believe like this is happening. Like this is the first time something like that happened to me.
Now, question. Okay, so um, we hear a lot of these horror stories. It's like it's that waiting to exhale. God damn, that guy said, man, these waiting to exhale moments where it's you'll have either the cleanup women or the nurses
Hmm.
with the purses, and
Right.
I might have to call you up or hit you up for that one because it seemed like I you'll have
Okay.
the nurses with the purses try to play the savior of Mother Mary complex and get these guys on the right track, right?
Right.
And it's a but in a sense, I see it as a bragging right for the women because they get to say, "Look what I did for this man. Look where I put this man. I took him from nothing, picked him up, turned around, placed his feet on solid ground and shit. Jesus moment thing." But then on the other hand, you got a guy who says, "I got a woman, a young gal, who listens to me, adores me, and follows me, and she don't give me no backlip. Like it's almost like a Sealy and Mister whatever Mister moment where let me have that girl right over there, and I can take her and fix her up to be the fashionable wife that she need to be. What? Why is this a thing in the black culture where people believe that I can build a nigga workshop? Why is this? What's up with this build a nigga, build a woman workshop thing somewhere? Because it seemed like it's setting people back. Go ahead.
Um, well, one I've heard a few responses to that. I am just going to talk, say, give you an answer from someone else, and a lot of people might not like this answer, but it doesn't matter because it depends on the individual. Like if you want to be in a monogamous relationship or however you want to do it. But they say when our women, now you should know because Geechee people, they probably don't do like that now. They're from Africa, from my knowledge. They're people
Mhm,
that's from Africa. So
mhm,
when us black women was in Africa, we didn't know nothing about being jealous and doing all this extra, stuff like that. And some people had a beautiful, like you said, culture in a beautiful way, and some people were actually happy, believe it or not. And so we didn't know anything about like the way of thinking, like how we got to be. They call them savage, call people savage. How we got to be the cutthroat. We didn't know nothing about that. We just was hopefully we was as the ladies were saying resting in our femininity, and that's another thing now they're saying with black men you're not able to rest in your femininity with with some men out here,
mhm.
but you know how I get talking now. What was the question?
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, but
you
because you
know
throw you're throwing out a lot of interesting gems that I definitely I'm going to have to re-listen to this talk because this is pretty good. Now, do you feel that there's a narrative being put out there that black people are better off advocating um their culture to other people to help rebuild it, or literally it's better if they just build it in house?
I think I'll give you someone else's answer to that too.
Oh, you're cheating now, son bear. You're
No,
going
because
somebody else.
this is from research. These are from people that probably some of the greats that you probably heard before and knew, like you probably heard that response I just gave you before.
Okay.
So, but it's interesting to bring because we have to share. Sharing is caring. So, just in case nobody heard that response, when us black women, they call it maybe not all black women or whatever, but some people, black women, we didn't know stuff about certain. We had a beautiful behavior and a beautiful culture where we were from. There was no problem with husbands and wives, But so anyway, so you said, do I believe? I'm gonna give you somebody else's answer on that next question too. So what was it again?
Now, before you go on, now, Sun Bear, I just want you to know, in Africa, you do know that the girls get sold for two pigs in Africa in some areas, or a cow.
And this is why I said sharing is caring. And when we're teaching right now, we're teaching in the United States, and now we have the internet. We can teach all over. Just because we have great African people doesn't mean that everywhere in Africa is doing something great. We're working, we work on what we can work on over time.
Okay. Now, question. Now, this man, someday you got me thinking about a lot of stuff now, and I'm not supposed to even go this long. Um, but this is good. This is good. I actually like having.
Grassroots. So I'm trying to really keep it
I
pushing.
support grassroots. No, no. Hear me out. For me, if I understand the cultures that are put that are out there are detrimentally disastrous in that they're not fortuitous towards building, right? I would say, yo, it's better for us to just do grassroots level stuff. At least if you're doing grassroots, that's more within your. You can control cutting the grass in your lawn. You feel me? I
Right.
can't. I can't control, but I can handle my lawn and Sun Bear's lawn. You see, our lawns, we can put that together and make an acre, and literally that's fine because whatever we put in within that acre, that's something that we can control. When we have this problem, this is why I talk about these other cultures, talking points. You're not really controlling those things. You're not really the puppet master to those. You're just going along to get along. Hang on, let's see. The giving of diaries are still practicing diaries. Oh yeah, yeah, diaries. I need to. No, no, that it is practice. And don't get me wrong. If y'all want to talk, if y'all want to have a conversation about arranged marriages, trust and believe, I can do that one. I've been to a few.
Oh, I got something for you. Excuse me, brother BMT. What you know, you're the one. You're on a more professional level. You know, which because you have way more subscribers and you've been doing your show and stuff. So excuse me, because I'm working on my cutting across. But you said, did I know that women was sold for 2 pigs? But we
Dowries. There's dowries.
dowries, and also men have it can go the other way too. Like
That's
a
true.
woman can have a dowry, and then we can have dowry for a man. It can go both ways. From was it you that said that?
Well, it's when you're talking about okay, so you're talking about the male diaries. But understand marriage in certain in Africa are contracts, right? So they're contractual agreements between two households. Usually they'll be like, hey, um, like you could have it where okay, listen, I want your son to marry my daughter because my daughter's already from a prominent house, but you have some pretty cattle. So guess what? We'll marry them off, right? So I got mostly daughters, but I need a son. Your son, I will take. We'll take him. He'll put him on for education, X, Y, and Z. But also, we want actual access to your stock. So, yeah. So, when every 4 cows a month, you need to send them over our way because I'm taking on your son to marry one of my daughters. So that happens sometimes where men don't have any sons and they have to start getting their daughters and they're not going to let that dissolve and they know that they have a bigger family. So yeah, that does happen. I told y'all marriages are no more than business contractual agreements. It's only in America for the most part that we look at it as a lovely lifestyle when actually they're more so contractual agreements. So proceed, Sunbear.
Well, and speaking of agreements, it just reminded me when my ex fiance, he was younger than me. He was 9 years younger than me, but what he did was from his truth, because he taught me a lot. But because he's from Africa but living in Spain, but from his truth, he asked me would I be his first wife. And I can't be mad at that because I know that people have age differences and stuff. But I was glad that when I look back on it, I was like, you know what, he's such a smooth guy. You know what I mean? He could have said what he knew. What he could have said the things that I wanted him to say and said, la la la. But he just was letting me know that he'll always respect me. And would I be his first wife? So if I wanted to be a wife, I could have easily have said yes. You understand what I'm saying? But I have to respect him within that. So when you said agreements and arrangements, not saying that he necessarily would get a second wife, but if he did, like in the reality of, on this realm, like because he might have had wanted kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have already had my kids. And so you have good black men out here. But I'm not trying to say so and so every man that has more than one wife or has had more than one wife isn't bad, but so there are agreements and stuff. But within that love, for me, he did ask me that question, but he's very mature. Some men are more mature than others. Where you got some men that just, they're messy, and like you said, they're walking down these aisles. And but back to the grassroots. And somebody put in the comments, "Are were we kings?" Now, you actually can still be a king because there's people from America, and actually there's white people too, but um there's white people too that do it, but there's men that have moved to Africa and they are kings in their village right now because what they do, because about installment and stuff like that, and so they do installment, and they go through and they walk through the land and the properties there, and they do their installment, and they're kings. There are black men right now in Africa that are kings, in their building. So you not were kings, you can do it right now. And it's kind of like they do you see all the building and they know a lot. But go ahead, business minded.
But see, now here's the thing about it, and the thing about I want to say is that if you're not controlling, like I always ask the question, what culture is it that black people are controlling right now in the Western world? And we understand there's a lot of agendas being placed on us every time about the positioning of the man, the protection piece of how the woman should be handled. Um, what's going on, King? Uh, when it goes about how we handle dealing with our children, I've heard the narratives that black men don't want to be with their kids. That's a lie. Like I know a lot of men that go hard and that will die for that of their children, like without even a thought. There's a lot of narrative and nuances that are put out there, and I'm like, at some point as black men, I don't have time to keep on dulling my blade trying to fight every nuance of negativity put out there. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just work your field, work your works. Because honestly, we understanding that no matter what, um, they're going to just keep on throwing. They're going to just keep throwing the shade. You know what I'm saying? And now you have it to the point where because we're giving so much energy to these talking points, right? Now you have it where our children are going towards these types of agendas because the parents are putting energy into these like, well, we got to battle this, we got to battle that, battle, and so the kids are now intrigued. They're like, well, what is about them that y'all say is so bad? What is about them that y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something I address, but other times I'll be like, it's not worth my energy. Like when y'all talk, like when people say, well, Black Lives Matter, and I'm like, yeah, I know Black Lives Matter. My life matters. But do we all really see us out there? Honestly, look who the people are who running out there.
um
Y'all
you
ain't,
know
y'all ain't never,
They
y'all ain't
did do
never.
their thing a little bit though. You know what? I'm with you on that, but I gotta say because I'm into art and stuff like that, and they did do their thing a little bit because did you see when the people were protesting, like they were standing up against they were doing peaceful protests, they were standing up and they were like dancing and stuff, and they were just they I gotta say they showed up. They did do their thing a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like the people, they went out and they cut up. They cut up.
So here's the thing: when it comes to bringing out the relevance of a talk point, you know what I'm saying? There are ways to tackle it. I would say we probably need to be more forward about looking at grassroots political um, strengths.
I
It's,
I am done with Hood because he. That's not what I. Excuse
you'll
me,
get
brother.
you'll get used to him.
No, because that's not what I meant. I want to clarify because I know I sounded a little. My
Okay,
speech
which one?
sounded a
Which one
little.
do you want me to go to?
No,
But
because he said they did the electric slide for Zaddy Biden. No, that's not what I meant. And that's what the part, like, you know, we had somebody has to do it. And that's not what I meant like that. I'm just saying people showed up and they kind of like now that you think about it, but like you said, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to tickle your heartstrings. So
mhm.
um but um excuse me. I didn't mean to sound like
That's not
that. Like dancing and twerking and
now the twerk now the black
I,
woman out there.
that was nice though. I
But,
like that.
but now here's the thing. But the black woman twerking on monuments. Do we really need that? Do
Hold
we
on,
need?
this is like
Do,
talk.
do we?
Why are
Do
you
we
making
need?
it so funny?
I'm just saying, like the black woman out there twerking on monuments. Was that something that we really needed?
Because it's a big thing about our butts. Evidently, like we might as well get up there and twerk at this point because you made a big deal about these butts. The butts are here. Here come the eyelashes. Here come everything you need. And I just and that's what I thought the statement was, the artwork. Because, my thing is black women are smart, and twerking is dancing. And like we know that what you're saying about twerking and all that stuff, but it's not about being funny. But now that they said twerking and dancing, you know what, I'm gonna have to give it to them too. I have to. Business, if you want to know how I felt about the twerking and dancing
No, go
business,
ahead. What did you feel about it?
I liked it. I think it was a good thing they did that.
So you thought it was a good thing
Yes.
when they did the okay. So
Twerking.
now, now if now whenever they do certain stuff, okay. So what about this? Now I'm gonna. Hmm, I want to know. Sly won't mind. Yeah, Sly wouldn't mind.
We said twerking is now art. Hold on. That's why brother BMT. That I'm trying to
You'll
give
get
you.
used to. You'll get used to the culture that I deal
But
with.
I'm trying to give the people. We have to let this art, because we know brother BMT. It's grassroots. We have to let the art speak to us. And
Okay.
go
So
ahead.
do you feel okay? What art speaks to you about
Hmm.
what art like BLM or twerking or get your ass to the pole? What about that spoke to you? What about that
Nobody
spoke?
said get your ass to the pole.
No, them damn
See how
strippers.
you doing it?
The strippers were saying, "Get your ass to the pole," and
For
I was
what?
like, "How? How's
Get
this?"
your ass to the pole for what? Black Lives Matter?
No, for to vote. Like, do we really need your
Oh,
ass
okay.
to
No,
vote
no.
to vote? Do we really need that?
I
Do we?
was going to address that earlier too about you saying about the votes. And votes are private, and but I will make a joke about the votes. Somebody's voting for somebody. Now, some people have voted for Trump, and because people say it every year, and somebody voted for Biden. Somebody's voting, they're going down there and voting for somebody, but I'll leave it alone because, like you said, I am a business minded professional and I know votes are private, but we will put that out there. It could be somebody in the chat, you know what I mean? So if there's somebody that got elected that we don't like, um, we have to, and there's another thing I can address too, being that you're business minded talk. So somebody
Mhm.
voted for somebody, and then did you hear the idea? A brother had, well, we've had these ideas before because we all were in student government, but we could start having black people run for every single office.
Okay.
Um,
Now I'm going to show you something, right? Do you want to watch a movie with me? A quick little movie,
sure,
and I want you to sit here, and I want you to tell me how
the art,
are you going to interpret this?
absolutely.
Okay. Now, all right. So y'all, please stay tuned. We will be watching some art for Sun Bear.
Okay.
Shout out to my homeboy Supersly 75. Can you see it? tell me, why are black people wearing chains and dressed up like slaves out here dancing barefoot around white people with guns and whips?
Um, Now this is what you be called shucking and jiving. I think, and I looked that definition up, and that means
There,
like,
this is art. You said this was the art.
and we have to remember not only when they talk about the all-seeing eye, there was a brother who made reference, because they turned our symbols, our sacred and the sacred well, not the sacred language, but the beginning of language and our symbols into death and destruction. So, but this
Mhm.
camera itself, us sitting here on YouTube having this black powerful talk, um, when they do things like that on camera, this is when he said they're electric sliding for White Zaddy.
Okay, so let's continue on. I like how you break down this stuff. Some bear, go ahead. See, you got the white woman smiling, looking at the black man. Oh, she's got sugar.
Yeah, I did see that twerk. No, I didn't mean them twerking. I meant the women, because the women were the one who
Oh,
did
okay, okay. So
the
that
men
that
back into the
okay.
community. Like when the men came back from long trips and stuff, we did funeral dances, and men
Yep.
danced too, but we did dances, and there was a way that men danced or whatever, but the women, we did dancing. Now they're trying to take over this little narrative, and that right there, like the way that we're trying to do right here, that was not grassroots. And really, I'm gonna go. You think these people have all these lyrics and stuff? Clearly, they don't have any type of content, what y'all call content. I and thank the brothers
I
and
didn't
sisters.
some bear. I didn't tell them to do
He
that.
said he's spitting.
Listen, according David
Maybe
from
they
Father.
don't have any creative, because a lot of and because my ex fiance, I put it in a chat. He made his own clothes. I think it was Nana. One of the great, I think Henrik Clark, one of the brothers had said like we don't make our own clothes and different things, but you have these designers and stuff that made those slave outfits and everything, and stuff like that. But the woman that used to design Little Kim, just for because Little Kim used to do some big videos and stuff too. She Little Kim was creative. And these black people was actually creative, but there was a black woman behind that, and she just now got a creative directing job at MCM. So if you see MCM being marketed towards, I didn't know nothing about MCM before. If you see MCM marketed towards black people more, that's probably why. Because finally they gave her a job within, and that's also what happened to Kanye West in the fashion houses when they broke him, when he thought, because he said you gotta have a special card to get in the fashion houses. But what my main point is, when you see people with these outfits and these little video shoots and stuff like that, designers and stuff are making them clothes, and they're actually wearing clothes that other people have made and other ideas. They don't have a lot of ideas, evidently, you think, because you'd be like, if that was my video, I would be doing this and that. But if that was my video, I wouldn't have chose that.
Now I'm gonna show you something that I was gonna. This is why I say when culture goes wrong. Okay,
I
so
didn't mean to be too long.
no. You good? You're good. Some bear. You're
I don't
good.
want to be long because I had to get ready for, no,
Okay, so
because I'm trying to prep myself for an interview I was going to invite you to later.
congratulations. Now, right here, you know what these are?
Those,
Those right
are
here.
those I think I seen something on Instagram about, um
Those are ties. So, for some
yeah.
strange reason, a black designer made ties that are nooses to put around black people's necks. I don't know why. That's why I say all this culture stuff is not always good.
I can tell you the symbolism in that. Because remember I told you the fashion houses, and they said and they have stories where people, the fashion, look at the word fashion itself. But anyway, the fashion house, when they say they fashion the human being and they fashion this, they fashion that. So these people are behind the scenes fashioning things, and that's him telling White Zaddy and them that he is. perpetuating, still perpetuating the lie, and he's still willing to enslave his own people. Because these could be the same ancestors of people, because they was like, oh, black people sold their own self into slavery. This is an example of that.
Hmm. No, no,
Okay,
right. No, like I said,
it
like,
takes this type of mindset.
mhm, mhm.
And yet, and so this is the type of mindset when people make the comment that black people, not all black people were doing it, but for example, this person here, for the love of money, and for the love of white zaddy, he went ahead and said, guess what, I'm gonna go ahead and make this, and put, and let him know that I am willing to have my own people in bondage, and I am willing to sell for a price, 40 pieces of silver, um, or however much white Zaddy might want, whatever you got to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They said
I
this
mean,
one black designer died, and his he was married to a white woman, but Cynthia G was just about to do something on it, and no, she did something on it. She said his wife, which was white, she got 20 million. He's dead. He was only
now,
41.
I
So,
don't, now whatever this culture is leading us, I don't. Like I said, this is why I'm not defending. I'm not protecting this type of mindset when you gotta leave these type alone and just go do your own thing separate from this. Like I don't know what goes on through their mind where you got it where dudes want to dance half naked in front of a bunch of slave masters, and bend over naked and shuck and jive. I don't know what's
but the
going on.
funny part about it was, you act like slaves was back there playing in the woods. We wasn't back there playing in the woods. We was coming up with plans to get the H out of there. So there wasn't nobody jumping around in no woods if you was a slave. You're sitting there trying to be as smart as you can be right now. You like, you know what? If you don't sit your behind down so we can come up with this plan, they be done took them out acting like that. Now
See,
what you
like I said, y'all, this I said, this is like when I watched the accumulation of a lot of these things. Um, like I said, man, like everything is not your fight for you to try to defend and protect because some of these nuances are way out of your control. And the best thing you can do is just say, you know what, that's not mine. That's not mine. You know what I'm saying? When you see, that's like watching one kid act up at the daycare. You take your what do parents naturally do? They grab their kid, remove their kid away from that child, and say, "Hey, I need to take care of that kid because that's not my kid." You
and
know
how
what I'm
about
saying?
you can don't take your kids to daycare? Because we
Somewhere.
seen enough happen in daycare. Like, at what point are we gonna stop? Dropping our kids off it, because we were talking about that last night. But brother, business minded, I appreciate you, because I was thinking, I was like, I've been hanging up here and doing all this loud talking, and I appreciate you. Letting me up.
Hey, you see, there was no yelling. There was just an easy
Yes, I
dialogue.
do. I practice the art of twerking every day. Um,
Get out of here.
I do, because if y'all want to see an example,
No, Bear. No, no, no.
not today, but
You're
no, I dance. It's this girl called Nanika Arabunda. She does
Nanika
all these things.
Arabunda.
She doesn't twerk, but I think everybody kind of like twerks a little bit, like on
Hmm.
and off. Yeah, I think everybody does a little bit on and off, so it's not wrong with that.
Like I said, I think we first of all we want to thank everybody for coming through. Thank my guest host for today, Sun Bear. Thank you
Yes,
guys
yes,
for
sir.
definitely coming through. Thank y'all for putting everything in the comments. You, Sun Bear, you'll get used to my chat. They're a very interesting bunch. You'll get used to the conservative. Um, like I said, I definitely have some more stuff going on. Um,
Okay.
if y'all want to email me or definitely have more chats or discussing with me, you already know how to get in contact with me directly. You can email me with here we go. blackbrother123@gmail.com. Definitely, we can have the discussion on all kinds of topics. I am definitely game to have the discussion for. Um, and I thank you guys for definitely coming through. I'm your
Um,
host.
brother,
Good.
business minded. Can I say something before you go respectfully? Because um, because I was thinking, I was like, well, I want to tell him I'm about to when I'm about to drop down, so you can, so I can give you the space to end your show, you
No,
know.
you're fine.
But I wanted to invite you to the someone asked me to do an interview. It's probably gonna be very lighthearted interview. Brother Binary Code. You familiar with him?
Not really. I know you're. I know I've seen you over around. I know D the Rail and them. Y'all have your own sector. If you want to put it in the private chat, I'll grab it and I'll definitely come
I
over.
don't know his page name. I just know him as I didn't. Brothers Nine Swirl. Do you have his page name? It's like QH something.
What's put do you have your email? Put your you can put your email in the
Oh,
chat.
I can't. I don't want to do it right away because I did one of them old school emails where I put it like this. I have to create a new. I did an old school email back in the day where I used my name as my email.
Oh God, here. All right, here's my email. Here's my email.
Blackbrother123 at gmail.com.
In this email that, and I will get in that
Oh,
way,
okay. So when the show comes on, you're saying email the show to send it
hmm
to your email.
and I'll come back.
And may I make another point in business minded?
Yep, go ahead.
Um, Nice World. I hopefully you're there. If you said you only heard about binary code, I hope that you're there. Please, can you please find it? But emails are important because when if there's a way we can always contact, people us as black people, but we can always contact. I'm sure you've heard this one before. We can always contact through an email because you notice like in business, people are always making a big deal about emails because it's a way you can contact. It's kind of like almost like an airdrop, right? Or not? It's not an airdrop, but you can still contact them whether you have a phone number, whether you have, you know what I mean. So so that's awesome. Blackbrother123 at gmail.com. Thank you.
No,
I'm dropping down. Thank y'all.
that's something.
I'm
Like I
done.
said, like I said, you guys, I thank you guys for coming through. I thank you guys for the support, all the love that y'all shared with me today. Definitely enjoyed the conversation with Sun Bear, as well as being able to talk with you guys. BMT signing off. Peace.